Hello and welcome back to Vinralandia. Last time we began the Geometry Lads area of the city, which apparently now houses the Illuminati. It's terrible. Look, it's okay. Our city will be fine. We also... what did we do? We tried to fix Little Transylvania again because we can't help but try to fix this mess of a system, which actually, if we look at it, is actually doing a lot better since we put in this little ramp, which is what we did last time. So we actually did something isn't amazing. I didn't even know. I was unaware at the time. Okay. Our current goal shall be to continue the construction of Geometry Lads. And of course, in order to do that, we need to kind of hide the existence of the Illuminati. Because as you know, the Illuminati are never this obvious. This is grossly obvious. Like, if you were just walking around, all of a sudden, and you decide, oh, I'm gonna take a helicopter ride through the city. Because people do that sometimes. I've never heard of someone do that, but I'm sure someone does. I mean, it's not that ridiculous. Well, if that were to be the case, then you'd totally go over Geometry Lads and you would notice that. That's really obvious. So what we're going to do is fill it with buildings and it'll become less obvious. Won't that be amazing? Trust me, it'll be great. What do we have down here? There's 100 dead people in Neo Marketopia. What in the heck is even... Shut up, advisor! Oh my lord. Oh my lord, advisor. I already know everything that you're gonna tell me. Come on now. Who do you think I am? Some sort of scrub? Look at me, I'm not wearing any scrubs at all. Not even on, like, days off. I don't wear scrubs on my days off. I don't wear scrubs on my days on either. That'd be weird. Very strange indeed. So apparently we did fix Neo Marketopia by, switching all of this to low-density commercial. I am now going to completely destroy Marketopia by switching it all back to high-density commercial. Slowly. So that nobody sees the difference until they get to the highway and they realize all of a sudden, oh my goodness, the highway is absolutely covered in vehicles just backed up to, like, Highway 87. I don't even know if we have a Highway 87. Personally, I don't even know if we number our highways. I am not in charge of the highway naming division. That is a group of star moles that hides approximately right under the octopus, like right in the middle of the octopus. There's a colony of star moles, and their express duty is to name all of the highways. However, since they are star moles, and I don't know if you've ever talked to a star mole before, but you can't really talk to a star mole, there's small problems with trying to communicate with them. It's not the best. So we don't actually know what the highways are called because of those stinking star moles. Look at this. You know, everyone who's obsessed with geometry is obsessed with triangles, and this, of course, means that we have to have tons of triangles all over Geometry Lads, and we've already got 3 of them. There weren't even any other triangles anywhere else in the entire stinking city, and now there's 3 just sitting out here. Look at that. It's progress, people. Triangles are progress, because of course triangles have 3 sides, and yeah, that's about it. I don't know. I don't know what else is so progressive about triangles, but it is 1 less side than most of the cities have, so I guess that's a good thing. For some reason, we are losing a god-awful amount of people. This is bad. This is very bad indeed. We don't want to lose a god-awful amount of people. We want to gain a god-awful amount of people. Oh my lord almighty. Look at this. The dead are piling up in the middle of Wittsville. This is not funny. Wittsville doesn't even consider this to be funny. This is terrible. They're looking at it and they're like, my goodness, there's dead people on the sidewalks, there's dead people in the rafters, there's dead people everywhere, there's not even confetti all over them, which really That's more of the fault of Witsville than it is of anyone else. Oh my goodness. Wait, look. Look at the highway. It's emptied, finally! Oh, we did succeed. Little Transylvania is no longer destroying the entire city slowly by clogging the entire highway. That is beyond my comprehension, I must say. That is amazing. I am very happy about that. Oh, look. Look what happened in the middle of Plant Herder's Den. Top bank has burnt to the ground. Half of the funds of... Shut up, advisor! Thought I turned you off again. Dang it. So, of course, all of the funds of all of the militants within Plant Herder's Den has just been lost in a massive fire. It was, of course, 20 heads of broccoli. And they no longer exist anymore because they were destroyed in a terrible fire. Quite unfortunate, I have to say. Not the best. But you just have to deal with it. Well. Okay. So, we've got very low demand for everything. Population is starting to rise again, which is great. I'm not really happy about my people just dying off in terrible accidents. Probably relating to pranks gone wrong, which, let's face it, happens a lot in Witsville. So, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Look, I'm considering this right here. This is what I'm considering. I'm thinking, and by thinking, I mean I'm gonna do it. I'm switching this. Just take a guess. Just wild guess right now what I'm doing. Have you guessed yet? I'm sure you've guessed by now. I'm making a roundabout. Because I am now absolutely obsessed with roundabouts because they have saved my city. And once you've saved your city with roundabouts, you just have to make so many of them that it's not even funny. Like, people are just looking at it and they're like, why are there so many roundabouts in this friggin' city? I mean, we don't need this many. It's not even smart how many roundabouts there are. I mean, you could just put a four-way intersection. It would be perfectly fine. All the cars would be moving in and out and everybody would be happy. But no! You had to put a stinking roundabout in there. It isn't even round. Look at that. It's kind of a disgusting bulge right here. It's just, ugh. Why have I done this? Anyway, we now have 2 circles within Geometry Lads, which makes the people of Geometry Lads very happy, and will hopefully prevent a terrible backup into the tunnel of death, filled with terrible creatures. Oh wait, no, that's in Little Transylvania. That would be this tunnel right here, the Tunnel of Death. There are pretty terrible things down there. We don't talk about them because it's best not to talk about them, but they're pretty terrible things down there. It's bad. Okay. Looking at the situation, I could potentially put some more high-density commercial along here. Because, of course, as I said last time, Geometry Lads, the amazing section of the city, will have no commercial in it so that I don't have to deal with the disgusting amounts of traffic that's going to come out of massive amounts of commercial. So, we got this instead. We could probably build a length of paths that leads over to Neo-Marketopia, allowing the people of Geometry Lads to move over to Neo-Marketopia. Wait, something just occurred to me. And it's kind of a random thought here, but do we have... We don't have any schools in the Plant Herder's Den. This is unacceptable. I just realized this. It's bad. Here we go. We'll have this school right here. It shall be named... Green is good. Meat is evil. Even the names of their schools are propaganda to protect their children against the potentials of meats. Millions of meats. Shut up, advisor. Advisor, if you keep showing up, I'm going to hit you with that mackerel. And you're not going to enjoy it, I can assure you of that. Okay. Then, if I place this one over here, a high school, which is, of course, guerrilla tactics, which is actually guerrilla tactics. I just like to say it like that. Get over it! Guerrilla tactics for veggies. There we go. Teaching the veggies how to execute guerrilla tactics. Now everything is dinging completely out of its mind. All that they were waiting for were schools to begin taking over the entirety of the city. How are we doing in terms of crematoriums out here? We're not doing as well as we could be, so we're going to put that down there. It seems that the dead just pile up like nobody's business. I thought this was an issue of like the traffic being a problem. However, it doesn't appear to be the case. It would appear that, no, there's still dead people waiting literally everywhere, just sitting in the apartments being like, hello, I'm a dead man. I happen to be in your closet. If you leave me too long, you're going to have some nasty skeletons in your closet, and nobody wants to talk about the skeletons in their closet. And of course, that completely freaks everyone out because that's a dead person randomly talking. And I don't know if you've ever dealt with a dead person randomly talking, but it's kind of weird. Very strange. It's for the best that we try to avoid that at any cost. So we're going to put in crematoriums, as we did, because that's what we do. When there's a problem, throw a crematorium at it. Just trust me, it'll work. Your house is on fire, throw a crematorium at it. Just do it. Okay. That is a ridiculous set of roads, but of course we are in Geometry, lads. The greatest section of the city ever known. So they have to deal with the fact that their roads are going to be strange because they're all based on geometry and not necessarily logical geometry for a road. Just generally it looks kind of geometric in that it looks like a shape, and that's good enough for them. Yeah, that's how they roll. So let's throw down some residential in here. Just fill the entire thing with residential, and I'll fill this part with offices. Look at that, all of the places for the people of Geometry Lads to work. Because of course the people of Geometry Lads all have a PhD in geometry. That's it, just geometry. There are thousands of people in this section and they all specialize in the same thing. It's really not a very sustainable society if you really look at it, but they are very happy about how they live. They're happy with their life in general, and you know, they don't see it as a particular problem because of course to them geometry is life. They are still really weird though. You can't argue against that. It's strange. Okay. So, we're going to be soon enough in need of some additional power. So we need to find a place to put it, and of course, where else would we put it but next to the standalone incinerator of might. Now you might say, putting this next to the standalone incinerator of might will prevent the standalone incinerator of might from being standalone. To which I will say, no. You are wrong, my friend. Because you see, it's a standalone incinerator. See, it doesn't matter if there's other things similar to it or like different from it, which is completely different from similar to, but you're just gonna have to, you know, deal with it. It doesn't matter if there's things different from it, so long as there's not another incinerator right next to it. It's still solitary. It can't find any solace in the existence of a stinking solar power plant next to it. What are you on about? Okay. So here we've just added to the sewage and the water network too. Just keeping it up and operational, making sure to pollute as much of this nice Vinralandian river as possible. Because if there is anything nice, we have to destroy it. Plus, I mean, Goatsburg is pushing to get more sea goats within the Vinralandian River. And the only way to do that is to increase the amount of pollution. Sometimes you just have to bend to the will of Goatsburg and accept the fact that you're going to have to add some pretty terrible pollution to your river. Just have to suck it up. Here we go, continuing to destroy Marketopia, one section at a time, until the traffic becomes literally so bad that it's impossible to deal with. Okay, look at all of this. It's working out quite nicely. How is geometry, lads? Still building up. It's not building up at all. Look at these sections. I put nice little districts in here, and they're just like, we don't want offices or residents, so why don't you just eat it? And I'm like, oh, I see. You know, one reason why people might not want to live here, perhaps because there's no police. There is now. Perhaps because there's no healthcare. There is now. And perhaps because there's no fire department. Completely forgot to put literally every service into geometry, lads. That was an error on my part, but it's been fixed. It's okay. We're gonna be fine. Look at that. Everything is dinging like nobody's business. Hundreds of upgrades for hundreds of people, maybe even thousands. Although, that's debatable. Very debatable indeed. Do we have a nice, unique building to throw in here? Something geometric, friendly neighborhood park? Not even slightly. Tax office? No. It's more algebraic. Oh. What is this? The MAM Modern Art Museum. Oh my lord. I don't know if... Goodness. That is the most geometric building in the entirety of the city. Placed, of course, in the perfect place. And look, we can actually look at it in, like, high detail. I'm gonna get as close as I can. What the heck is that thing? What is that? Wait. It's a deer! There's a deer prancing around outside of Geometry, lads! I didn't know there was wildlife in City Skylines. That... Don't know why that's there. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to do anything unless it goes onto the highway and just causes a terrible crash. Perhaps we should follow the life of this deer. Look at him prancing through the fields of Vinralandia. Not sure what he's doing out in the middle of a field, which is pretty much the entirety of this city. Seems like he'd want to stay a bit closer to large patches of trees. Oh, what? He stopped. What is it going to do? It's going to scratch its neck? Be careful, deer! That's a railway! Oh, it's fine. It's okay. Look at the deer go. Look at him go. He is just booking it like nobody's business. Look at him. He's ran like 40 miles already. Oh, this is like the greatest deer. Usain Deer is now his name because he's the greatest sprinting deer to ever exist within the world. Look at him go. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're probably going to stop watching this deer now, although I really want to know where it goes. Look at him. He ran all the way from here over to here, all the way back over here. That is some stamina, man. That is beyond my understanding. It's crazy amounts of stamina. Whew, okay. Do we have any other monuments? Not even a chance. I think this one worked towards the fusion power plant. What do we need for the fusion power plant? Not here. It's under here. Under monuments. And the fusion power plant requires the tax office and the observatory. So how in the heck do we get the observatory? Because I know we can get the tax office. If we can get the observatory... 1,000 abandoned buildings in the city? Why is that what we need? That's not a good thing. I don't want to put 1,000 abandoned buildings in my city. Jeez. My goodness, I want no abandoned buildings in my city. Why would I try to work towards that? Jeez, City Skylines, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. No, if it happens to happen at any point, you know, I'll allow it. It'll occur, and we'll get the fusion power plant, but I'm not destroying our fair city just on a whim of the game to get a observatory. But yeah, with that amazing monumental statement, we come to the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. There'll be more in the future. It's nearing the end. We've got 99,676 people and rising. So, before we actually get... I'm going to pause very quickly so we don't actually get to 100,000 people at the end of an episode, because that would be ridiculous. It's going to happen next episode, though, believe me. And that will be the end of Vinralandia, this amazing city with roads that make absolutely no sense. If you were to drive here, you would completely lose your way. Just like, you'd be driving in here and you'd suddenly realize that this is probably the worst decision you've ever made, trying to go to the city. And you'd turn around right about here. And it'd be over. You'd be gone. Because trying to get into any place, that's ridiculous. But yeah, thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.